Hello and welcome back to Now Playing, the #1 James Bond podcast on the internet. I'm one of your hosts, Richard.
And I'm Cody.
And this week, we got a hell of a movie.
Boy, do we have a movie to talk about.
Diamonds Are Forever.
And let's just say this movie is not.
Yeah. Released in 1971. It shows the return of Sean Connery.
It's almost 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And holy fucking God.
So
that's 50 years too long for this movie to be around.
So this movie involves Blofeld having doppelgangers or people that he plastic surgeries his face onto them to have doubles
after he's had plastic surgery.
Yeah, because he looks different. Because he looks like the guy from that gets killed in You Only Live Twice with the fake leg. Because they, I guess, just decided to recast a bunch of people with different actors.
Same characters,
or same actors, different characters. Because they do that several times in this movie.
There's a lot of weird about this movie.
Yep, very weird. They so Honor Majesty's Secret Service didn't do well in the United States, so they decided for this one they doubled down on it. So we have the first American James Bond girl. It's all set in America, so we're in Las Vegas, and
a lot of Felix. But not
different.
The same Felix.
Yeah,
when they
different
could have
Felix.
just got the same guy to play Felix. But
it's
we're recasting half the cast and making them past characters again.
It was a weird. I feel like it was a weird turn for the producers to do.
It was,
and they
you can tell too.
Yeah, so this is going to be a fairly short episode probably because we don't have a lot of good things to say about this movie.
No. I don't.
I will say there's a lot of things in this that are interesting.
Yes.
Because, like, you have Crispin Glover's dad.
Mm-hmm. Who plays, which you gave me my favorite piece of trivia with, is that him and the guy that it plays, like, his partner in the movie, basically insinuate the entire movie that they're a homosexual couple.
Yeah.
And so they stayed in character.
Yeah.
Outside of shooting.
Yeah, they messed with Sean Connery saying that they were both gay.
And then
the entire shooting.
And then when they got onto the plane.
No, like several years later, Sean Connery was on the same plane with I'm looking up the cast listing because I think his name is Bruce Glover.
Yeah,
Bruce. So Bruce Glover was flirting with a flight attendant on a plane, and then in the back, apparently Sean Connery could be heard going, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Yeah. So.
And that's how Sean Connery found out that Bruce Glover was in fact not gay.
Yep. Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, he still has movies in production.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's still going, man.
Bruce Glover, never gonna stop, y'all.
He's doing a movie with his son. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. Their characters, Mr. Kit and Mr. Wint,
I believe.
I know directly they're parodied in Codename Kids Next Door.
Yes.
Because there's characters that look exactly like them in that show. Let's see. A
lot of weird fucking facts about this movie.
So the
Hit
woman
with them Bond girls.
Yeah. So Tiffany Case is played by a woman named Jill St. John, and one of the other Bond girls is Lana Wood, whose sister was Natalie Wood, who is infamously known for being drowned mysteriously. And allegedly, Robert Wagner did it on a boat. And that's still going on. That case came back up last year.
Yeah, no, last year was the first time I ever heard about it. And I was what? Okay.
So these two women, they had a feud on this movie because Sean Connery was dating both of them at the same time. And so they had a falling out. Years later, Natalie Wood dies. Jill St. John then starts dating Robert Wagner and then marries him. She's still married to him to this day.
And so
Lana Wood really hates her. And apparently a couple of years ago, they were having a photo shoot with a bunch of the Bond girls and they got into a fist fight.
Pure ass fight.
Yeah. So it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
This movie, y'all, like, I keep, like...
Oh, yeah, and Jimmy Dean's in this movie.
Yeah, the Sausage King himself plays a main fucking character in this movie, and it's...
It was based on Howard Hughes.
Wacky, yeah. And because they were using Howard Hughes' hotels,
Yep.
So they were like, oh, I want one of my friends in it. Employee
at the time.
Enter Jimmy Dean,
Yep.
who we also found out by Google searching was a fucking country singer.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And so our worlds were just... This movie was so fucking boring that we found out more facts about this movie than this fucking movie itself. Like, it's... I keep sitting here and I'm getting like closer to the camera and everything because like I'm just sitting here trying to think of something good to say about the movie.
Yeah.
And the only thing good that I can say we got out of the movie is when they pull in. We're watching probably one of the most atrocious chase scenes I've ever seen in my life. Which for the first time, this is the first Bond movie that I cannot remember them speeding it up for the action.
Yeah.
And so
I don't think there's any fast shots in this movie.
The most atrocious chase scene, and Richard just looks and goes, I don't think there's anything good about this scene. This looks pretty fucking bad. And then the car goes across a sign that says mint, and I was just like, fucking mint. And we both laughed and both just went, fuck. And then immediately I continued the gag because it was the only thing that I got joy out of for the entire movie.
Yeah. Basically,
it's so
this
bad.
This is the point that I feel like the Bond franchise first got really campy. And they kind of bring it back a little bit to realism for a little bit, which Roger Moore after this. For a little bit.
I'll find out.
For a little bit. I'm just going to say that for a little bit it comes back. But this is very campy. This movie has action scenes that are just unrealistic.
Yeah.
He pops a car onto its side.
Oh, son of a bitch. When it pops like this, but and then the camera like this.
The camera flips in the middle of it. So I guess they're trying to think that he goes from one side to one side. Yeah.
It's like if you watched me play Fallen Order last week and watched me try to run up that wall for an hour. It was like that, except I would leave this way and glow out this way. Yeah. And that's exactly what that fucking car did. And you're just like,
yeah.
What?
But the basic plot of this movie is that they're getting blood diamonds to put on a satellite to then make a giant laser and hold the world ransom with a giant laser in space. Thank you, Mike Myers, for making The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yep. It's when it got my favorite thing too is like there's a part in the movie when you realize that all the coding is on a cassette tape.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And then he switches the cassette tape and they're supposed to be acting like they hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts the cassette tape in the back of her bikini. And he's just like, all right, you bitch, the worst is behind you. And then she, instead of taking the hint of, need to get this out of there, she changes them back and re-endangers the world. And you're just like, you were in the room. You just saw him.
Yeah, she's not a
change the cassette tape
character. Like, they don't write her doing smart things
and then,
at all.
As you can tell, when she gets to her house in Vegas,
yeah,
and Bond is already there, you can blatantly tell that there's a fucking body in the pool. And she goes, why is my wig in the pool?
Yeah.
Also, fun fact.
Why Bond just sit there and wasn't like, there's a body in your pool?
But fun fact, Lana Wood was the one that was drowned in the pool.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing? The world might not know, but
it's just ironic, I think.
Yeah, more ironic, it's like I guess.
It's a weird world irony.
She drowned in the movie. Her sister drowned in real life.
Yeah.
And then she drowned in sorrow for the rest of Jill St. John's life. So.
Damn.
Yeah. That's as much connection as I could get out of that.
Yeah.
Another thing about this movie,
there's a dune buggy in it.
Yeah, see, I was just getting to like the chase scene thing.
Yeah,
where my favorite thing, and you pointed this out. Bond goes to this testing site, and And my favorite thing is after they understand that he's infiltrated the site and they're looking for him, the guys go, "There he is! He's behind those rocks!" And Bond bolts it. And they're supposed to be filming like this moon thing to like really kind of understand how the moon works.
No, they're not even filming anything. It's just them like testing equipment to see if it works.
Yeah,
like sort of on the moon.
The guy goes, "Yo, quit what you're doing and grab him!" And so everyone else is like running and trying to grab at him, and the guys in the spacesuits go.
Yeah, they're just like, don't.
And it's like, and my favorite thing is I laugh.
Be that slow.
And he just goes, "They don't have to move that slow. They're just doing it." And I went, "That's the most method thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Even in an evil layer,
they were in space.
They were like, "Got to take our job seriously today, y'all." So, and then the chase scene that like he just jumps into this test rover and just takes off, and it just blasts through fucking everything.
It's a huge rover too.
And my favorite thing is eventually these 3-wheelers are after him. And thus when I go, "Those things are dope," and he goes, "No, they're not. They're top heavy. You'll get hurt." And then as we proceed to see, all of them just fall off of them.
Yep.
And you're just like, okay, yeah. And then like that, not at any point the moon thing is still going, and it still shows Bond's head in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bond's on a 3-wheeler.
Well, like
because he kicks the guy off of it.
Well, he's behind a rock, and then he kicks the guy off.
But there would be no one in the rover.
Yeah. Why is
but there was someone in the rover, and it was still moving. Yep. And you're like, all right. Like, oh, did this thing just fucking R2-D2 the fuck out of here? Like,
pretty much.
Mind of its own, here we go. Like, it was, man, like, I feel like Connery came back, took the biggest pay cut anyone had ever seen at the time, and then just went, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna fucking do anything."
Yeah. Well, it felt like a lot of people in this movie just didn't feel like doing it.
Like I told you, when you told me we were 45 minutes into the movie, I was like, "Oh, thank God, that means it's close to being over," because I thought we were still 15 minutes in, and I was like, "They've explained nothing."
You made a good point of it felt like beat by beat it was very fast because like there's just scenes that just go very quickly, and then like there's just like a lot of just exposition that Blofeld or like Jimmy Dean's character make that you're just like, you couldn't fit this organically. You're just gonna let him. Okay, that's cool, whatever, just let him fly, I guess.
There are so many things, like the whole point of one of my favorite parts is when they go to Jimmy Dean's house. I already forgot his character's name because this movie was terrible. But
it's fair.
He gets in there, and they all should know at this point that if anyone comes to the house, they're probably there to rescue him. And these two girls are like, "Oh,
you're talking
we're
about
gonna stop you,
Bambi and Thumper."
Bambi and Thumper, and they beat the shit out of him. So then he just tries to drown him, and they're like, "Where is he?" And one of them finally is like, "He's right down there." So he gets down there and goes, "Are you guys CIA, FBI?" And they're like, "MI6." He's like, "Oh, thank God." And it's like, if you were expecting someone, maybe don't keep your trained killers at the front door unless you need them. Or
I don't.
If you were in a separate part of the house completely, would you not take one of the trained killers with you?
Well, I think like they were part of Blofeld's team because he's technically being like held hostage at his own house.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, that's how I always interpreted it.
Okay,
because that's what they are in the book.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, but
which,
I didn't know that.
By the way,
dope.
This movie doesn't follow the book like at all. Really, Vegas is in the book. That's about it.
Okay,
just about it.
I just like.
I like the book a lot. The movie, I do not
like. They go into the whole thing of like the dude at Slumber Inc. Being like, "You better get us some money. That was the fake diamonds." And it's like, "Well, you gave me fake money." "Well, they're fake diamonds. We want our real diamonds." And then he finds out that he's a comedian, and he goes to his show. But then all we get from that is that the other guys kill him.
Yeah, because he's part of the link in the chain.
Yeah, and so you're just kind of like, why didn't we just see him kill him? Period. Why did we go in to set up his character, do everything to waste 10 minutes of film and then go, he's dead. And it's like, okay, sure. And there was just so much about this fucking movie that's so bad.
So do you wanna rank?
Oh,
this movie?
It's at the fucking bottom.
it's at the bottom.
It's not only is it one of the worst Bond movies, it's one of the worst movies I've had the pleasure of sitting through. Period.
Fair. That's fair.
I sat through 2LDK like a champ. Did I not like any second of it?
I was gonna say that movie at least has a interesting plot and
plot
ending.
Development. Yeah. This had nothing.
Yeah. No, my favorite thing about this ending, Blofeld gets taken out, right? With a crane. That's it.
Yep. I'm just saying, I walked out.
It's the worst way to like get rid of a character that you've built up for like almost 6 movies.
I went to a movie premiere at a fucking film festival and walked out of a movie that I thought was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen in front of the director. Blatantly going, this is fucking trash. Like out loud. And walking out to the point to where like they wouldn't let us come back in. And like I was like, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just trying to get my friends out of this shitty movie too. Because I don't want to sit in this damn lobby by myself. I think this might have been worse than that.
Okay.
And I had to waste the pleasure of my own couch on it. Like, I had to sit there and be like, how can I feel this uncomfortable in my own home? Oh, yeah, I'm watching this movie.
Fair enough. Okay.
Like,
okay.
Ugh.
So, yeah, it's at the bottom.
The fucking worst. It's at the bottom.
Yeah. This movie is very bad.
The list stay the same as last week. We both just put this at the fucking bottom.
So, yeah.
You guys know where it's... Hit him with something. Hit him with like another trivia. Is there like another trivia fact?
There's no real trivia other than I just think it's... Again, I just think it's weird that you take out your main villain with a crane. And that's just the end of it.
And
it's just... I don't... this movie has just like... It's like how not to make an action spy film in general. Like, it just makes me more grateful for the next movie that's next week.
Okay.
Which is Live and Let Die.
Awesome.
And the first Roger Moore movie is very good.
I think they definitely fucking need it after this.
I think it was a turnaround.
Okay.
I want to know your opinion about it next week.
Okay.
So,
but I'm down for that.
I would say we just end this episode with don't watch Diamonds Are Forever.
Just don't watch
if you have to.
It's fucking terrible.
Like even if you have to, please don't.
Actually, how about this? If you fucking like Diamonds Are Forever, I want you to put your fucking reason in the comments.
In the comments, yeah.
And you can downvote this video. I don't give a fuck. Like, but I want to know your exact reason of defending this fucking movie because it was fucking awful. It was bad. And I don't see a way that you can be like, it's my favorite James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at me square in the face and say that this movie is somehow better than Skyfall, I'll fucking hurt you. You think this movie is better than Doctor No? You're a fucking idiot. I will insult you to your face the next time I see you and just be like, how? Why? How did you like it? It was a terrible movie. It's bad. Richard, where can they find us?
Oh, where can they find us? You can find us on Facebook.com/PackOfGeeks, Twitter.com/PackOfGeeks, Instagram PackOfGeeks,
at PackOfGeeks.
At PackOfGeeks. You know, give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit that notification bell on the YouTube. You can search for us on YouTube. That's the way to find us.
It is. It's a very easy way to find us because if you go, boom, search bar right up here. Guess what you'll do? You'll just type in bell right here,
Geeks. Over here.
And you'll hit, the bell should be right there. There. And then you'll just click it.
Yeah.
It'll let you know when the next one of these comes up. You can hear me tell you how much I hate probably the next 10 James Bond movies. Actually, I probably won't hate them as much as I hate this one because this is a piece of fucking trash movie. And I will die on this hill right here that this is a bad fucking movie. Don't watch it. Give us a like and a follow. You know what to do. We love you, internet. Thank you so much for joining us here today on this rant.
Yep.
Because if you didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to have this rant other than maybe at a dive bar somewhere in like the deep heart of the South, and where someone would be like, I don't know who Sean Connery is.
Yeah.
And
What's
I'd be
a Bond
like,
movie?
all right, dope. And like, do you know who James Bond is? You mean the old guy that was from like this movie? Sure, man. Yeah. Like, you mean November Man? It's like, hey, man, you know, I'm glad you know a Pierce Brosnan movie, but he hasn't been Bond in 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. And that would be the conversation I have. And they probably don't know that Scotland's a country, so they wouldn't even understand that. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong, so I'm glad the internet exists so we can have this rant. So we love you, internet, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.